Origin EX, we're still on the Origin EX here, you see. Ball shape, 4 from the top. Look at the Equinox. Well, will you look at that? The Origin EX is just as sharp as the Equinox. If you're looking at their charts, let's pull in a different ball. Let's pull in something else. Let's go crazy. Let's look at the Gremlin. Gremlin is right here on the bars. Let's look at the Origin EX. So the Origin EX is just as sharp as the Gremlin. How about that? All right, what's up, everybody? This is kind of impromptu. I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't have anything written down. This is something I wanted to talk about right now while it's actively pissing me off. We are on Storm's website on the compare feature. I had just done a preview video yesterday for the Equinox Solid, and I was looking. What they were saying about it and their chart here didn't match up, and so I was, I had gone to something like the Origin EX, which they did say was a very, with a very smooth bowling ball. It is a very smooth bowling ball, and so I wanted to see what its chart looked like to actively compare the two. And they don't have its chart on its ball page on the website. So can I use that? Yeah. See, if we go to the Origin EX page, if I just go to the Origin EX page and look for the reaction chart to compare them, they don't exist. But somebody did tell me in the comment section that if you use the compare feature, you can get down to, and you see Origin EX is Origin EX is selected, and the ball chart shows up here. And so I decided, okay, well, let's go on ahead and just do it this way. So in theory, on paper, it should be a helpful, and you can select the weights here in the compare feature, but it doesn't change the chart at all. So if we look at this, so it's got flare potential is 3rd from the top, ball shape is 4th from the top, hook length is a couple bars just above mid lane. So if you then go to the 12-pound version and come back down, nothing changes. So the weights, Origin EX 12 apparently does all the same things that the Origin EX 15 does. But just to make sure that we're all on the same page, these were the ones I wanted to compare between. So on paper, again, theoretically, this should be a fairly helpful tool to use to compare bowling balls. However, the Origin EX, let's first go back there and see this. This is a very smooth bowling ball. So you look at the result is one of our cleanest covers yet, engineered to clear the fronts with ease and deliver a smooth, predictable back end motion. Said, and with this asymmetric core, you'll still get punch off the break point without the sharp, unpredictable moves. So if you go to the compare, and anybody that's thrown the Origin EX, it's a very smooth. It is fairly clean for how strong of a ball it looks on paper. It is pretty clean. It is really smooth. So if we just do that and we come down here and we look, here is the chart for the Origin EX. See this Origin? We have the Origin EX selected. It has higher flare potential because it's got an 050 diff and an 020 intermediate differential, so it does have a lot of flare potential, but it's got the ball shape all the way up here on the angular side, like medium high or medium angular. By contrast, if we go to the Equinox Solid, so we're going to go to that ball page first, and everything you're going to see is the Equinox Solid will stand toe. This is another important point to follow here. The Equinox Solid will stand toe to toe with the Ion Max if you're chasing total hook, but with a dramatically different shape and motion. Here's its chart right here, and instantly the ball shape is all the way down here on smooth. I mean, this is about the smoothest rating. You can look at other stuff. Like, I wonder what the level would look like. So it's all the way down there on smooth. The level, and instead of just a regular ball page, it's all this nonsense. Okay, so apparently the level is sharper than the Equinox Solid. Y'all saw it here first, and we're going to see if this is actually even close, because the comparison page, as you'll find out, the comparison page and what it has on the balls page on the website are different. So let's go back here and we'll look at the Ion Max, because this is another thing when I was looking this up. Like, some of these balls, they don't have like the regular product page like the rest of them do. They have this marketing page. So so we have the Ion Max. This is the chart on the Ion Max's page on the website. So we have a medium high flare potential. We have a ball shape that's on the plus side of medium. We have the hook length is mid length is like, so this is early. I know you can't see this because I don't know what they're doing with their fonts and whatever else. I know you can barely see some of this stuff on the website. This is the early side. So the Ion Max, their big hook monster, flares a bunch. Apparently it's fairly angular, but the hook length is very long. It's a very late reacting ball, this Ion Max, apparently. Oil volume, squarely medium. It's right on top of medium. Pattern length is, you wouldn't want to use it on long stuff. It's just medium stuff. And you would definitely want to use the Ion Max more in transition and closer to the burn than you would on the fresh lane conditions. So if we go to, now there's not a compare feature on this because it's the promo page. It's not an actual ball page on the website. It's the marketing page. And so we have to go to a different ball to be, once again, the Equinox Solid is not on here. So I have to go to products and bowling balls to get to the Equinox Solid. So you saw that stuff that we just talked about. So to get to a different one, let's look at what the Ion Max says over here on the comparison page. And let me put this one at 15 just so that we're doing things right here. So the Equinox Solid, I've checked these both. This is the same chart on the comparison page here as it is on the Equinox Solids page. It's the same chart. If we look at the Ion Max's chart over here, however, what a different story it tells versus the ball page. So this is the Ion Max, again, Ion Max 15. There's the Ion Max core and numbers and all that stuff right there. Ion Max. Come down to the Ion Max chart. On the compare feature, the flare potential is maxed out. The ball shape is a little under medium as far as smooth versus angular. It's a little under medium. I'd say that that's accurate. Hook length is early. It's Ion Max. It's their big super hook and ball at 2000 grit, whatever else. Hook length is early. I would agree with this. Oil volume, heavy. I would agree with that. It's their big oil monster. Pattern length, all the way up here at long. Lane condition, very fresh. This chart I agree with. But remember, we go back over here, well, to some certain point. Let me before we go back, I'll refresh here. But if we're looking at this, the Ion Max in 15 pounds has a 247 RG, 055 differential, and an 014 int diff. And the flare potential is maxed out. So an 055 differential and 014 int diff. If we look at the Equinox Solid, which has 1 point less of differential and actually 4 points more of int diff, it only has a medium high flare potential. But somehow the Ion Max, with less asymmetry, borderline, I mean, there's Tour ASIMs right now. Again, the Ion Pro Solid over here is a Tour ASIM with an 013 int diff. This with it's got a big differential. So does the Equinox Solid though. Equinox Solid has a big differential, almost the same, and the Equinox Solid has a bigger int diff or more asymmetry, but it's only medium high on flare potential. The Ion Max is maxed out. So once again, Ion Max chart, let's look at this. Flare potential maxed out. Medium smooth on the ball shape, very early hook length, very heavy oil volume, very long pattern length, very fresh lane condition. I agree with everything on here but the flare potential. But if we go to the ball page on the webs, again, if we go to the Ion Max's ball page, well, look at this. I just went to, okay, so this is the same chart here. This is the same chart. If you go to the Ion Max's ball page through the compare feature, but if you go to brands, Storm, Ion Max, here's the marketing page, and look at the chart. We're back down to the flare potential where it should be, but all of a sudden, we've got the ball shape, angular, the hook length, very late, oil volume, medium, pattern length, medium. So you can't actually get to, so you have, there's two different ball pages for the Ion Max, but the way that you get to them is different. So I can't go to the Storm brand and pick the Ion Max and get to the regular ball page. Let me see if there's somewhere on here to where I can navigate. Let me see if I can get to the actual ball page from, nope, can't do that. There's no place. This is just the marketing page. And it's got a completely different chart than if you go to, let me see if I can go to products, bowling balls, and then get to the regular Ion Max page. There we go. So you have to go to product. You can't go to brands, Storm. So if we go to brands, Storm, Ion Max, this gives you the marketing page. And again, the marketing page, ball shape is angular, hook length is medium late, oil volume is medium, pattern length is medium, lane condition is transition to burn. So if we go to products, bowling balls, and we get to the regular Ion Max page, we've got a completely different chart. The flare potential is maxed out here. The ball shape is on the smoother side of medium. Hook length is very early, oil volume's high, pattern length is long, lane conditions fresh. So again, we go back to the compare feature. Since I can't, I have to go to, okay, let's go to Equinox Solid once again. Dramatically different shape and motion. A2S. What sets A2S Solid reactive apart is its ability to generate sharp angular motion, a rare trait for a textured solid, making the Equinox Solid uniquely dynamic. So we go here to, let me see, which is this, the tech data? Yeah. Again, same thing. What sets it apart is its ability to generate sharp angular motion. This advanced cover stock pushes the limits of oil absorption, delivering fierce mid-lane transition and explosive back-end reaction. If you're chasing total hook, the Equinox Solid will stand toe-to-toe with the Ion Max, but with a dramatically different shape and motion. So everywhere you look at for the Equinox Solid says big back end. It's big back end for a textured solid ball. But as soon as you look at the chart, the ball shape is very smooth. Very smooth. And if you go to the comparison function, they have the same chart. We'll just take it to 15 just for the crap of it. And let's look at which balls here. And this is why I wanted to compare the Origin EX, because the Origin EX is a smooth ball. It was marketed as smooth. It is very smooth. And so you have the two side by side and you come down here, but you click on Origin EX and the ball shape is medium angular, medium quick. Now, I would agree with the rest of this chart. It says the hook length, it is clean. Again, and they said this. Origin EX is pretty clean for a textured solid, which it is. It is pretty clean. The oil volume is more medium. The pattern length is medium to shorter. The lane condition is kind of in transition. I would agree with everything but the ball shape on the Origin EX chart. But we go to Equinox Solid, and all of a sudden this, oh my God, it's super angular and it's whatever else for textured solid. The ball shape is very smooth. So let's kind of compare and contrast these kinds of things. Let's look at the Origin EX, which is apparently this medium angular ball. Let's see what else we can find here that's close to this. Let's look at some fast stuff. Let's look at the Equinox. The original Equinox in 15 pounds. Origin EX, we're still on the Origin EX here, you see. Ball shape, 4 from the top. Look at the Equinox. Well, will you look at that? The Origin EX is just as sharp as the Equinox. If you're looking at their charts, that's interesting. Let's pull in a different ball. Let's pull in something else. Let's go crazy. Let's look at the Gremlin. Super sharp ball. Gremlin is right here on the bars. Let's look at the Origin EX. So the Origin EX is just as sharp as the Gremlin. How about that? Let's look at the frickin' Hyperdrive. Like the Hyperdrive Pearl is just as about as sharp as you're gonna get. If this doesn't max out the quickness chart, I don't know what would. So we got this one. Oh, the Hyperdrive Pearl is only slightly sharper than the Origin EX. Only slightly, just one bar above it. But let's go the opposite direction now. The Equinox Solid apparently is this big flip monster for what it is, but we're on the smooth side down here. So let's put in again. We already looked at the level, but we're going to do this again just for the crap of it. Level. The Equinox Solid, the level is actually more, it's actually sharper than, because the level has a couple bars above here. So basically, without driving this into the ground even further, I know I've already been rambling here for 16 whole minutes, but Storm's compare feature is completely busted. Their website is slightly to mostly busted. This is the kind of stuff that this is what, if you've ever thought I had something against Storm or that I'm angry about something or whatever else, this is the shit that I've been talking about. Every time, if all I've tried to do is find information and give it to you guys and then let you make your own decisions. This is a shining example of what I dealt with nothing is consistent. Things are different. You have trouble getting to things. There's no internal communication. There's definitely no communication with the staffers. And if it is, it's just a bunch of marketing. They market harder to the staffers than they do to the consumer. So this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. It just, the information is inconsistent. The website has just not worked. Even they have a new website now. Their old website was even worse somehow. I don't know why. It's almost like they're going so far out of their way to make it difficult for people to share information, or for their representatives, or I'm not even a representative anymore, but they make it so difficult for me to give you information and to promote their product to you, because again, it's wrong, it's inconsistent, it's hard to find, it's all these hoops that I have to jump through just to make a damn video to help get you some information about their product. It's ridiculous. And at some certain point, this has been going on for 5 or 6 years now. Like this started before COVID. I started having issues in like January 2019, and this shit is still going on. This is why I'm frustrated. This is why I'm upset. And this is why I rail against them in my preview videos, because this is stupid. If you go and use their comparison function on the website, it's broken. It does not work. It's not accurate. And it's going to confuse you, and you're not going to end up getting what you think that you're getting if you pay attention to their website. So what you need to do is and this is the most honest you're ever going to catch me. You need to ignore their website. You need to trust me. That's just the bottom line. I try to be objective. I try to be this very vanilla person that doesn't have strong opinions, that doesn't whatever else. But this is stupid. Their website is stupid. It's broken. It doesn't work. You need to trust what I tell you, because I will find between finding the accurate information, and also, I've been doing this for 10 or 11 years. You've been trusting me to shoot you straight on everything so far. I would like to say I've been fairly successful at it. I don't think I would have this kind of following if I wasn't successful at it. And so between reading ball reaction and and seeing reaction from other companies now, I would hope that you should be able to trust me. Hopefully they will eventually fix it, but it's been a problem for years and years and years, and it's only gotten worse. I don't think it's ever going to change. This is just, there seems to be a lot more AI in what they're doing than the cores. Like half of this stuff sounds like they fed it into Chat GPT. Give me here's some keywords for the RST hyperdrive. Now Chat GPT, write me a synopsis of it. I'll put it on the website. This is just frustrating, but if you made it this far into the video, I probably wouldn't have. We've been talking for 20 minutes now, but I just wanted to show you what's going on. This is what I go through when I try to make a preview video. Eventually we get to the bottom of it. Thanks for whoever tipped me off that you can actually find some of this stuff in the compare feature. So I'm not going to belabor it any further. We'll just call it a day here, and this is what we get. So thanks y'all for watching. We'll see you on the next one.